going on, all you big dogs, coffee connoisseurs, alligator wranglers? Friends, what's good? How you guys doing today? And in this episode, it's with a new friend of mine. You know, he's only been a friend of mine for a couple years now, but it seems like we've known each other for a very long time. And it's always funny, well, at least it is for me, where I'm always like, you know what, dude, I'm done with, like, making new friends. Like, I got enough friends. I got enough people to worry about. I got enough people to follow up with, and I got enough people to spend my time with, and between family and friends, and you know, I got a pretty good support network, you know, and so I'm always like, you know, I'm good. And every time I think like that, dude, comes another friend. And it's funny because, you know, you think that there's a capacity to love, and you think that there's a capacity for to allow people to love you and allow yourself to love other people, and it's just kind of, it's not true. You know, there is no capacity. You know, there's always room for one more. So, you know, I really love what this guy does for the community. I really love what he does for just, you know, everybody that he comes in contact with. You know, he's really an accelerator to a lot of other people's journeys. So, enough talking, enough bumping the gums. Please put your hands together. If you're driving, honk your horns, hit your flashers, shake your car a little bit, and welcome Professor Doug Holcomb.
Now, here's your host, the one and only Julian Torres.
For the audience, man, like, you know, how best would you introduce yourself? Big Doug Holcomb.
Yeah,
big,
I know, right?
Big Professor Doug, no quit Holcomb.
Yeah, that's Doug Holcomb. Retired out of the Marine Corps in 2016.
After how many years?
Right under 16.
Wow.
I did the TERA, the early retirement. I wasn't the most model Marine. Don't get me wrong, I love the Marine Corps.
Right.
I love the Marine Corps. But I think what I was always destined to do is be my own boss and run things. Because while I love the Marine Corps, their mission is always ahead of what needs to be done at the smaller unit leadership. And sometimes you need to make changes down here, and Big Marine Corps is like, no. You know
Well, Big Marine Corps can't even see it.
Yeah, they can't.
Like,
so I think as an entrepreneur, naturally in my mind, it was just like, man, no, I don't. What do you want me to do, sir? That's stupid. Why are we moving this box again?
Yeah, for sure.
It's not even our box. Why is it in our house? You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
Well, we said we were going to, you know what I mean? Hey, staff sergeant, I just need you to freaking move the box.
Yeah. Dude, stop it. Yeah. The box needs to go.
Why am I moving the box?
Why?
I'm not
There's
a
nothing
Lance
in the
Corporal
box
anymore. Why? I can ask.
There's nothing in the box.
Yeah, so I didn't exactly get the greatest remarks. And, you know, it's like bittersweet. Because if I would have stayed in, if I would have done 4 more years, I wouldn't be sitting here with you right now.
Why you say that?
Because I wouldn't have stayed in California. I was at the end of my tour. I would have gone somewhere else.
Dang.
I wouldn't have found Felipe. I wouldn't have stayed with Gracie Barra.
Dang.
I wouldn't be Professor Doug right now. I would be what I was scared I was going to do when I originally got out. I would probably be a government firefighter somewhere else.
Wow.
doing inspections.
And do you feel like you would have been selling yourself short from being like a government firefighter and stuff?
Not selling myself short, because I don't want to say like government firefighting is selling yourself short.
No. I'm talking about like you just as an individual.
As an individual, what I wanted was gunny because it was short term. But what I needed to do was leave because big term was Professor Doug. And that carries more weight than retired gunnery sergeant.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean?
There's longevity in Professor Doug.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you can
And
do
there's
this.
not just longevity, man. There's joy. You know, like I said, besides just not being, you know, the best Marine, you know, as in listening and taking orders easily.
Right.
I was also broken. I mean, I don't know how many vets are out there that could probably contest to this. You know, you go to war, it changes you. You know, and everything after Iraq in 2008, everything was like war. It was just like, I gotta get these freaking Marines ready for war. They're going to war.
Right.
They're gonna carry dead bodies. We're gonna go to war. We're gonna go to war. You know, how am I gonna get them ready? What do you mean you can't hump this hose? I was like, dude, they're firefighters.
Yeah.
They're firefighters. No, but they're Marines. They're gonna go to war. They have no idea what they're gonna see. Let's go.
I mean, you could be on like the airstrip.
Yeah, I was extreme. I was more than what I needed to be. You know what I mean? Like sometimes like
A bit extra.
beyond extra. I was beyond extra. I mean, my wife can even tell stories about at the schoolhouse, you know, like some of the reservists or whatever that would stay at the hotel instead of, if they weren't active duty, they would, you know, they'd stay in the hotel on base. And that's where my wife worked, and they saw her tag, and they'd be like, Holcomb, is your husband
They're connecting the
Staff
dots.
Sergeant Holcomb? And she was like, yes. I'll never forget. They're like, is he like that at home?
Yeah.
It was intense, and the problem was, I just buried it, and then when I got back to the fleet after the schoolhouse, it was the same. I was just intense. I just thought I was getting everyone ready for the worst case constant scenario of something that 90% of them would never see. When I went to Iraq, I was crash crew, but I was also on the trap teams. I was also doing convoys. I was doing a lot of trash outside
You're
the box.
busy. Yeah, you're busy.
Yeah, you know, which exposed me to a lot of different things, you know what I mean? But that's the Marine Corps, you know what I mean? You're everything that the Marine Corps needs you to be wherever you need to be.
Right. And if you're just doing your job description, then you're kind of a turd.
Yeah. If you're staying in that tiny little space, yeah. No. But, you know, that was, it kind of, it was good for me because it was this idea of like, I don't think if I would have stayed in the Marine Corps, I would have got healed or learned about myself the way I have through jiu-jitsu and becoming a school owner and being surrounded by all those amazing people at Gracie Barra St. Clemente.
Yeah.
I would have been
You can
surrounded.
generally feel like the love and support and admiration when you guys, from all the professors at San Clemente, and then you go there and they're like, what's going on, dude?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they're all like just uber excited. You see it in their faces, like they love you. And you love them, you know what I mean? Like it's like brothers, dude. You know, for real.
The way, it's kind of like, the way I view jiu-jitsu is, it's like Marine Corps brotherhood without the after-action reports, right? Without all the other garbage and the staff meetings and the roll call and the uniform inspections. If you took everything you really, really didn't like about the Marine Corps and you just took those moments of brotherhood that you had with those Marines, that's what jiu-jitsu is.
For sure. It's like you're out in the field.
100%.
100%. It's
With
like you're out in
another
the
devil.
field. Yeah, it's you're out in
Just
the
sitting
field,
out
dude.
there.
You're out in the field with like some like faded camis.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? They're all kind of broken
my
in.
field camis, you know.
Yeah, they're all kind of broken in. They're loose.
Yeah, man. It's in
maybe-
the suck. Oh, the best ones, you know, it starts to rain. You know what I mean? And you're hating it, but you know, you got that little poncho and you're right next to another Marine that's hating it too.
Yeah.
And you just start gabbing.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's the best, man.
Yep. And yep. And a lot of high fives. A lot of
A lot of dead space that you can't see when you're walking at night trying to do the land out.
Exactly.
Yeah, man. That's what these mats are, man. It's the field, and I get to go to the field with active duty Marines, retired Marines, corpsmen, civilians. I get to go to the field with them every day. Every day I step on the mats, and I get to create a moment with them that will last forever. That money can't buy or take or create. It's just two people's interaction on the mat. And I think that's what I needed. I was headed in the obviously the wrong direction, drinking heavy, smoking like it was cool.
Do you think that like drinking heavy, just not being like in a healthy path? Do you think that like jiu-jitsu forces you, if you want to be good at jiu-jitsu, it forces you to like, maybe I should drink more water. Maybe I should not be hungover in the morning. Maybe I should not.
I do. I mean, it's a really good way to start, but what solidifies it is the people that are around you. Professor Felipe would just ride me, Doug, why are you still smoking, man?
Yeah.
You know, Professor Matt and them, you know, everyone just be like, why are you drinking so much? My wife, like, hey, you know, let's put the kids to bed, get them out of your arms before you open the beer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was the ones that mattered the most in my life, which were on the mats, that echoed that. Not just like, oh, jiu-jitsu, for me to be able to be good at jiu-jitsu, I got to quit smoking and I got to quit drinking, because that's just me on me. But when it's someone that I love, someone that I admire, someone that I look up to, that's like, hey, man, I know stopping smoking is hard, but I know you can do it. And then it sits longer.
Oh, it's so nice, but it's so like firm.
Yeah, like, you know, I know what I'm doing is wrong. But right now, I just can't stop. It's okay. It's going to come, man. I'm here for you. I know you could quit smoking, Doug. Let's quit smoking. I mean, I smoked for 27 years, man. You know what I mean? And now I haven't had a cigarette in 5.
That's what's up, man.
You know what I mean? So, now, I mean, the damage is already done, but it's still the fact that I quit.
Yeah,
if
for
I was
sure.
in the Marine Corps, I wouldn't have quit. I would have kept smoking. You know
Oh,
what
I mean, dude, like, that's the culture, though, too.
Yeah, smoke it, drink it, let's
yeah,
go.
Yeah.
Five,
Smoke them if
five.
you got them.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you know,
smoke
it's
'em
just
if you
keep
got 'em.
going.
Yeah, man. I mean, like, when you fight like an athlete, and that athlete's like really training and really into it,
Yeah.
and his gas tank is like
Endless.
You're just like, maybe I should hit the cardio bike a little bit more. Maybe.
Yeah, for sure. It'll make you, I mean, look at me, man. I'm in the gym now almost 5 days a week.
That's what's up.
Getting ready to turn 44. Now I want to get in shape.
Yeah.
But, you know,
It's better to start now than at 80.
it's always better, you know, like the sign in the head says, you know, the best time to start was yesterday. The next best time to start is now, you know. So,
Is that
yeah.
is that what you would give advice to somebody who's not doing jiu-jitsu right now? Is just hey man, dude, just start.
Yeah.
If you're overweight, like what if I'm a guy and I'm overweight, I haven't exercised in 10 years since my last PFT, and I like the idea of jiu-jitsu, but I'm scared to be out of shape. Should I start?
100%. And that's always easier said than done. And that's why they say, you know, what's the difference between a white belt and a black belt?
I don't know. What is it?
Is a black belt is a white belt that never quit, right? And they say, here's the real question. It takes 8 years to get your black belt. It takes 48 years to get your red belt. What's the hardest belt to get?
White.
Because you got to start.
You got to start, man.
You got to start. And then what's my favorite quote? What is excuses? Failure without knowledge, right? If you keep giving yourself excuses, you're just going to keep failing, but you're not learning anything.
Yeah.
So just get on the mats. It's scary. If you find a good gym, it'll only be scary the first day. If you find a good gym, everyone's going to welcome you. Everyone's going to make you feel like you belong. And that belonging and that brotherhood, man, if it's done right, it'll stay forever.
Yeah.
You know, or you'll at least take those lessons home.
Yeah. I mean, I think that jiu-jitsu has helped me for sure be a better father.
Oh,
for sure.
I think it helps us. I think it's helped you become a better father, a better friend. I think it's just helped you and become a better person. The glow, when I first met you, and I would watch you out there, sit there watching your kids, I knew you wanted to be in here. And that's what I look for when I start to look at parents. Like, I'll joke around, and then, I'll get the, no.
Hard
Not
pass.
me. Yeah, hard pass. But you never gave that look. And I was like, all right, this fool needs to be in here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then that just kept transpiring over and over. And when you have someone that's just doing something that they love, everything else around them gets better.
Yeah, it has to.
Yeah, because
It
it's
has to.
infectious. It bleeds into everything around you. And that's why I always say, most important person in your life is you. If you can make yourself glow like that, man, everything else around you starts to prosper.
Dude, like, I felt like I respect, like, I've always respected my kids, and I always loved my kids, man, but respected them even more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't,
Yeah,
I, like,
knowing
like,
what they go through on the mats.
yeah, you know, and be like I'm an adult, and I've been through some trials and tribulations, but so I know how to kind of manage that stress of being out here and being like, oh, dude, this dude's about to choke me and get smashed, you know, by, you know, a super strong Filipino man, you know, you know what I mean? And so I can kind of like, all right, dude, like, I'm gonna be okay. I'm freaking out, but I'm gonna be okay. But to have my kids do that, and their only adversity that they've ever experienced physically is here, you know what I mean? And they're managing well, and they're doing good, and to be like, man, dude, my kids are doing this, like, dang, dude, like, they're my heroes, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
and to see other kids, you know what I mean? You're just like, what's up,
They
man?
don't know. They don't know the life lessons that they're learning. To push through, you know what I mean? To face something, adversity in the eyes. That's why I remind them, because a lot of them, you know, in the beginning they get scared. What do? They roll away. They try to run from it. And I was like, we never turn our back on our problems.
Yeah.
Problems in front of you, face it. Always try to face it. And it's just like a reminder that even if they don't take it right there at face value, I pray that they're getting it kind of like for that long distance haul, that later on in life something happens and they don't run from it, they face it because of what they learned on the mats.
Yeah.
You know, fighting's 90% mental. 10% is just physicality. 90% is what we make the mats out to be. You know, like the person that's scared to come in, they view it to be this, oh my God, the mats, oh, I'm so scared. But it's really not. It's just 2.5 inches of foam, man, with a special layer waiting for you. Mats are like life. It's just waiting for you to participate. It's always there. You know what I mean? So it's like everything that we do on the mats kind of echoes, and it just transcends into so much more. I mean, I know a lot of people don't like the whole like jujitsu monologue thing, but I think when it comes to not just Gracie Barra made that saying, but jujitsu for everyone, you know, I mean, everyone's heard that saying, for everyone or forever, it's really the idea. Carlos Gracie Sr. and Carlos Gracie Jr., they really do believe in, if everyone trained jujitsu, the world would be a better place.
100%.
You know, it teaches so much. Not just like, oh, I can beat this guy up. No, it teaches you so much more about yourself. It makes you appreciate yourself, appreciate the people you're with.
Respect the people.
Oh, so much.
Because, dude, like, you'll be in here and you'll be like, you know, you'll be like, dude, this dude's like a Poindexter. This dude's like a little dude, you know what I mean? Like, you know, like, I can just smash this dude because I'm stronger than him.
Yeah.
And then before you know it, he's using the mat as like his fifth hand. And like you're like, what is going on? Like,
Yeah.
And he, like, your strength means nothing, you know. And you're just like, you really look at everybody as like, they could be a killer. They could smash me.
Well, you think about it. I mean, and again, if you're listening to this and you've never tried jiu-jitsu, don't take it the wrong way. But every little match or every little encounter that you have, you're literally saying, I got you.
Yeah.
your arm wouldn't work that way anymore if we were really going at it.
Oh yeah.
You would go to sleep.
You would go to sleep.
If I was really going at it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and it's kind of like, and I get tapped out all the time, and it's just like this, but it's like, at the same time, you're able to go to that point, that deep of a point.
Mm-hmm.
Tap, pop, pop.
That's it.
Let's do it again.
Let's do it again.
Let's do it again.
High five. Good job, man.
That was a really good submission. That was a really good setup. Let's do it again.
Yeah, that was sneaky, dog.
Oh yeah, how'd you sneak that in there, man? Oh wow, and it makes you inquisitive. You know, I think when we're inquisitive and we're wanting to learn, that's when the growth happens. But if we see, oh damn, he tapped me, you didn't learn anything.
Yeah.
You just know you got tapped. Mm-hmm. But I've had certain students that were really, really, really good, and what they always did is every time they got tapped, they would be like, man, dude, that was awesome. How did you set that up?
Yeah.
What did I do? Did I do something that kind of exposed that? Yeah, man, you bridged and you sent that arm in, and it was just there. The arm. Oh, there we go. See, now you're learning. And then if you stay inquisitive like that, then you're always trying to figure out. You're always trying to calculate. You're always trying to think. Mm-hmm. And you're always just trying to get better. And if you get better, then everyone around you gets better again, coming back to the most important person in your life, you know. And that's the idea, you know, is to make yourself better. That's why, you know, yeah, I know I'm 43, you know, but it's like I'm in the gym because I need to get better. Mm-hmm. You know, I can't just look at my students anymore. I need to get better.
Yeah.
I need to be engaged. I need to be pushing them, the ones that I can push, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And myself.
For sure. Yeah, it's like positive, pure pressure.
Yeah.
Positive, pure pressure.
Yeah. It's again, that perspective in the right manner. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I think sometimes that negative connotation gets added to so many things in our lives, and it shouldn't. You know, it's too much. Too much negativity, man. I think we have found a way to put a negative perspective on anything sometimes.
Yeah, for sure, dude. You know, there's like a lot of times where, you know, even me, where I'm like, you know, there's times where, you know, I've often felt like a champion of optimism. You know what I mean? Like that's my superpower, is to being optimistic, you know. And even then, it's like sometimes it's just like I'm not good enough, or I'm not strong enough, or I'm not capable, or I'm a liability. And let's say it's like, dude, stop, just stop.
Yeah,
you know?
man.
Or I don't deserve this, or I don't deserve that.
That voice.
And it's just like, dude, just stop.
Yeah.
Because you know that's not true.
I became a champion of being a pessimist. You know, like you're an optimist, I'm a pessimist. Yeah. I was like, yeah, that shit's about to go wrong. You know, you know? And I blame the Marine Corps for that. You know, like,
for sure.
But you know, I mean, champion of being a pessimist.
Yeah, dude. But, so like, how do you, when those voices do come into your head, you know, of insecurity, how do you combat those? I mean, do you combat it? Do you? I mean, what's your play by play?
Initially, I would just bury it.
Initially, just getting out of the Marine Corps.
Yeah. Especially when I was in the Marine Corps, I just buried. I was like, I ain't got time for this. I got too much stuff I got to do. I'll deal with that later. You know what I mean? Because it wasn't on the forefront. The problem is it becomes a habit. You know what I mean? That becomes a habit. And then every time that voice creeps into your head, you're just like, all right, cool, you're right. Boom, damn it. I ain't got time to deal with you. You know what I mean? You'll give yourself, again, a reason or an excuse on why you can't deal with it. What I have found for me, sitting down with, obviously, everyone, Professor Matt, you know, Professor Felipe, and having these conversations with other amazing people, is that it's not about ignoring the voice. It's about listening to the voice when it creeps into your head. Be like, hey, Doug, you're too fat, man. You can't do jiu-jitsu. Hey, Doug, you're homeless, man. Why? What makes you think you can own a school? You know, you need to go just get a 9-to-5 job, man. Just don't be fake, man. You're fake. You're not real. You know what I mean? You got to hear it. You're like, yeah, I know, man. Yeah, I was homeless. Yeah, I did a lot of bad things. But you know what?
And round is shape. You know what
Yeah. Yeah. Round is a shape. And you find out that, what is it? Heat expands. So I'm not fat, I'm hot. But it's the idea of hearing the voice, listening to the voice, recognizing the voice, acknowledging the voice, and then saying thank you for reminding me of where I was. Because here I am now, and that's not where I was. And I'm past that. And every time that voice creeps in, it's like, hey, Doug, you know what? You screwed up your first marriage, you're going to screw up your second marriage. No, I did screw up my first marriage. I did make a mistake. I did do things that I shouldn't have done, but that's not where I'm at now. Thank you for reminding me. I appreciate it. Thank you. All right, what's next? What else you got for me? You know what I mean?
For sure. Like,
You know?
tell me something I don't know.
Yeah, it's when we're like, no, I can't listen to that voice. I can't hear it. I can't hear it. No, just leave me alone. Man, it just gets louder. Every time it pokes its head up, it gets louder.
Dude, I was talking to a friend about so like my buddy passed recently, and I was a little sad, and I just needed to talk. I didn't need to send out a text just to kind of get that weight off, like get it out. And me and him had an after action report afterwards. You know, hey, like he was like, hey, Devil, like how you doing? You know. And he had told me that he's like, the more you resist, whatever it is that you're resisting, persist. And it gets like, the more you resist, it gains momentum.
Yeah.
And it gains, energy, because you're not letting it out. And
Exactly.
it's collecting. Every time it comes up and you choke it down. Every time it comes up and you choke it down, and it's like it's getting bigger and getting bigger. And before you know it, it's persisting. It's just like right here, on the mats, like you talk about, like don't turn your back, face your problems. If you turn your back, I've done it many times. It gets to be a problem. It gets to be a bigger problem. And whatever I was running from, now I'm in the kitchen.
Yeah,
I'm cooking now. You know what I mean?
It's
Like
in the fire.
it's
You're
like,
there.
oh,
It's got the hand around the neck.
Yeah, it's like,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's just like, the more I resist, the more it persists. And I think you're so right, man. That at the end of the day, they're just thoughts.
Yeah.
It's just,
But they're also, you know what I mean? One thing that I learned, from all the years of therapy now, they're thoughts, but they're real moments. Something created those things. And sometimes we even push those memories so far down in a way that we don't know those memories exist. But they are direct control of what we do and how we behave. And we have to face it, and that's scary. That's the scary part. But once you start to face it, and it's this little bit of peace at a time, and you got ups and downs, you got these waves, but that's the only way to really push forward with who you are. You know what I mean? Like I was saying in the beginning of the week, all the masks that we wear of everyone that needs us to be something, whether we need to be a husband or a father or a son or whatever we need to be at that moment, that mask. We've put on so many and we've pushed so much down into a box that we've kind of created this gray void of nothingness, like of not who we are anymore. And we're starting to lose that connection with ourselves. Because I'm a dad, I'm a husband, I'm a father, I'm a coworker, I'm this, I'm that, I'm a friend. You need help right now, I'm here. You know what I mean? And we're all these masks for all these other people. And then at the same time, we're pushing down all this trauma or whatever's happened to us into a box that it leaves this space of like nothingness of who are we?
And do you feel that, the purpose of, I guess, like life is to mend that connection back to yourself?
100%. you got, maybe it's because I am getting old. I never thought about this when I was younger. This is going to end.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to end, and I don't want it to end being someone that I'm not.
Mm.
I want to live the best life for me. Like, I want to live my best life, not the best life that my mom wants me to live, or the best life of what my dad wants me to live, or the best life that my kids want. You know what I mean? I want to live the best life for me.
What would you tell somebody who's like struggling with that, or just maybe comes to the realization that it is going to end, and it's when do you get a chance to eat?
Yeah, that's such a good question, because here we go back to the mats, back to jiu-jitsu. If I'm sitting there trying to explain jiu-jitsu honestly, the true goal and everything jiu-jitsu holds and has, to a day one white belt, he ain't gonna understand me.
Oh, dude.
No.
I wish I could have took a picture of like how you were talking to me when I first showed up. I'm sure I was just like, yeah, like I think I've even told you a couple times, like, yeah, I understand the words that you're saying because I understand English, but I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
and with all that being said, you've only been on the mats like 10 months or 8 months?
I think we're at like 7. I think yeah.
So imagine 7 years.
Yeah, 15 years, 20 years.
So as long as, this is what I say to anybody that's hurting and that's trying to find peace with themselves or find just who they are, it's just like day one. You have to start the journey. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't mean it's going to be easy. It doesn't mean it's going to be great the whole time. It doesn't mean you're going to have laughs every roll. But what it does mean is that you're headed in the right direction. And there's no time limit. As long as you're headed in the right direction, then you're on the right path. Mm-hmm. But you've got to get on the path. And then you got to step a foot on the path. And then you got to step another foot on the path. Sometimes we get so caught up because everything's so instantaneous. TikTok, Facebook, everything is, our mind is trained to be instant gratification, that we think, okay, Professor Doug, I've made the choice. I'm going to dedicate my life to jiu-jitsu. 5 months later, hey, Professor Doug, I need to cancel. What? What's wrong? Just life, a lot of things are in the way. It's not going to be easy. Mm-hmm. It's not going to be laughs the whole time. Mm-hmm. But the journey's life. Yeah. And we've got to get started. And we've got to get started in the direction that makes us happy. I mean, I've talked to so many people about, man, I'm getting out of the Marine Corps, or just other friends just talking about, like, man, I don't know if I want to do this. Then don't. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Then don't. But
take the pressure off.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if that's not where your heart is, then why are you doing it?
Mm-hmm. Dude, that's so true, man. You reminded me of a story of a time when I was, it was like 2012, and I remember being in the shower and just crying and being like, I don't want to be sad anymore. I don't want to be, like, I'm done. Like, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's a great quote.
And I said, you know what, man? Like, I'm ready to do, like, I'm ready for whatever goodness you have for me, God. Like, I'm ready. I'm willing to do whatever it takes. I don't want to be, like, I'm going to choose to be, I'm going to choose to be happy. I'm going to live with intention, and I'm going to choose, to be optimistic. I'm going to train myself to be optimistic. I'm going to train myself to look at the glass half full and to prove to myself why it's worthy. And when you said about, like, just taking that step, and then the next step will come. Don't worry about, like, the whole path. You just need to get on the path. Yeah. And taking that first step is just, you're just making that inertia where you're just going to boom, one falls another. You talked about habits earlier.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just, before you know it, this is just what you do. And I think that, when jiu-jitsu is, like, super hard. Jiu-jitsu is super hard because it's never convenient. You know what I mean? It's never convenient. Like, it's not at the, it's
It's
not
always
at-
in the uncomfortable zone.
yeah, you know what I mean? It's always like the time of day, you're getting choked out, you're getting arm barred. For some people, not me, getting leg locked, you know, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's never convenient. There's a million and one reasons not to go. And you're right, those reasons are legit. But there's only one that like makes you have to go. It's because it is hard, because it is the path. It's part of the path. So yeah, man, I mean, I think the reason why I brought all this stuff up is because like this is the stuff that I think about, and you saying it makes me feel like validation that I'm on the right path, that I'm doing, you know, that I am chiseling away at a better person, and I'm the masterpiece.
Yeah. You have to remember that it's not an overnight process.
No,
You know, it's like the
and
same
you can't
thing.
and you can't rush it.
No, you can't. It's the same thing when you have kids. You know, you look at your son, you look at your daughter, and you're just like, man, so much joy, so much love in the beginning. And then you also know everything that they're going to go through. And you're just like, you're excited to be there, to help them get through it, to reassure them. I know this seems like it's the end of the world, bud, but you know what? We're going to wake up tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's going to be better.
Yeah.
Let's just keep going. You know what I mean? It's the same thing I do with the little kids on the mats. They get and it's no offense to the coaches, but a lot of the coaches, you know, maybe they don't have that experience with the kids, or, you know.
It's a lot.
My oldest son, Junior, if he's listening, yeah, I'm talking about you. He's got the biggest heart in the world. You know,
He does.
He gets it from me. No, I'm just kidding. But I remember the other day there's a kid that was crying. He had a little boo-boo, you know, his head. He got hit in the head. And he was fine. There wasn't anything wrong. It was just like it was scary.
Yeah,
The
shock.
arm barred, you know.
Yeah.
The little shock of the moment. And, you know, Junior's over there. And he's got his hands on him. And he's like, do you want to sit down? Do you want to, you know, come over here? And I'm just like, that's not what you want to do.
Yeah.
You know, you want to go over there. I got on my knees. I looked at the kid in the eye. I was like, what happened? Tell me what happened. He was like, he hit me in my nose. I was like, and I pinched his nose. I was like, ooh, that looks like a strong nose though. And he's like, yeah. And I was like, oh, look up, no tears. And I wiped his eyes. And I was like, oh, wow. Oh, you got some muscles. You must be really strong. You know what? I bet you're so strong that you can finish this round.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can. Oh, I know you can. All right. But let's start on our knees. Put them in a position that they can feel comfortable. Okay, let's get on our knees. Ready? Shake hands. Combate. Boom, they start to go. And I walk away for a second, come back, and I'm like, look at that strong boy. I know you could do it, buddy. I know you could do it. Good job.
Yeah.
It's not to coddle them. It's to remind them that they can. And they must. And they will.
Yeah,
You
for
know?
sure.
And I think that's the job as a parent. That's the job as a coach. That's your job as a professor. And I love watching the journey unfold, and blessed to be 280 plus students that I get to see every day. And that's just what I'm trying to do now, you know, put out as much positive that I can into the world, and remind people that they're not alone. Someone's felt it. And the journey to heal it doesn't mean it gets fixed overnight. That dive into understanding who you are and peeling masks away that you've worn for so many years, that's painful, but it's a must. Just like you could easily just roll away and let them choke you out, tap out, but no, let's deal with the side mount position. Let's deal with getting crushed and deal with the pressure so you get used to it.
Let's
So
get
you
the bow and arrow.
understand it. Yeah, so you know it, so you recognize it. And that position that was scary and made you panic no longer makes you panic. And when it no longer makes you panic, then it allows you to breathe. And then when you can breathe, then you can think. And when you can think, you start to understand. When you start to understand, you begin the process of escaping or submitting. And you can't get to that process when you're over here turning your back away, scared. You've got to face it. And then you got to go through all those steps. It's so important, and it's one thing that I even lose sight sometimes of myself. I'm like, oh my God, why am I still depressed? hey, Doug, do you remember how bad depressed you were in the Marine Corps? Mm-hmm. Do you remember getting drunk? Mm-hmm. Do you remember how you always found a reason to be drunk? Do you remember how you always found a way to sneak around and go smoke cigarettes because you needed to escape? Because cigarettes make you relax. No, they don't. It's all in your mind. But you know what I mean? Yeah, nothing compared to what I was.
Out of has jiu-jitsu been the only martial art that you've practiced?
No. I have my black belt in Goju Kai Kan. I studied Shitoryu, Shinryu. I got 30 fights in Muay Thai plus, you know. I studied Tang Sudo, boxing. I did a lot of martial arts. I didn't touch jiu-jitsu until 2008. Iraq. My boy Eric McDonald. He was a corpsman with me in Iraq. He kept saying, "Hey, why don't you try this jiu-jitsu?" And I was like, "I ain't rolling around with a bunch of dudes." Well, you want me in between your legs so you can look at me in the eyes? You know what I mean? I had all the jokes. And heck, I still make the jokes here now. You know what I mean? But he got me. He got me to step on the mats, and I'll never forget. I don't even know where this kid is. I know he went to like Purdue for wrestling or something. His name was Preston, 16-year-old kid. He looked like Justin Timberlake as a kid with the curly hair.
Yeah.
But his ears were jacked up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I was a sergeant, McMap instructor, Marine Corps martial arts.
Rah.
Walked into the school like, yeah, I'm a black belt. And I've done all this Muay Thai. Man, that kid took me down and submitted me like so many times. I was just like, what's going on?
Yeah.
And I think because I've always been inquisitive, the inquisitive kicked in. Man, how's this little kid eating me alive?
Yeah.
Or how's this even happening? I need to know.
Yeah.
I need to know.
Yeah, because I thought I was something.
Yeah. Here we go. And then it begun.
Do you think that out of all the martial arts that you studied, which one mirrors like life?
I mean, you can put them all in that category.
Really? Mm-hmm.
You know, at the end of the day, it's always that grind of you versus you. Excuse me. For me, I again, it's just because where I'm at right now, and it's nothing against you guys that are there that are pro Muay Thai or boxing or any other martial art, but jiu-jitsu, it's such a growing community. And with jiu-jitsu, unlike a lot of other martial arts, man, I can go to the max. I can tap, and I can do it over again. And then I can go to the max. I could tap. I could do it again.
Foot on the gas pedal.
Yeah, and I can come back if I've eaten, right? Drank enough water.
Got enough
taken
sleep.
care of my body.
Yeah.
And I can come back the next day and do it again. And that's why these athletes are so good at that, because they can do it again, do it again, do it again.
Yeah.
You get into the Muay Thai world, you get into, and maybe it was just the way we trained, especially with Gunny Brown. We trained during the week, some light sparring, heavy bag, mitt work during the week. Saturday we would bang. Either Friday or Saturday we would bang. And we would bang.
Yeah.
Like you come in a mouthpiece, and it's game on. You know, we warm it up, and then we get in the ring, and it's
fighting.
It's sparring day.
Yeah. You're fighting.
But you didn't do sparring day every day.
No.
Because you can only take so many hits to the head where you're just like, you know, I need to take a break. You know what I mean? But jiu-jitsu allows me to do that. You know, it allows me to get that grind, get that demon out sometimes. You know, sometimes you don't need a life lesson. Sometimes you just need the angst.
They need to get it out.
Yeah, you need to grab somebody with like ferocity.
Yeah.
Like, fuck you.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah,
fuck you, life.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Is that all you got? Don't be a bitch. Bring it.
Yeah, dude.
And then you're just like, at the end, you're like, okay, cool. I'm going to go home, eat dinner with my family.
Yeah, thank you, bro.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Dude, one time John, because John always has like a sixth sense. He's always like, hey, man, how you doing? And he came from the line, and he was like, dude, how you doing? I was like, you're about to feel how I'm fucking doing. He's like, all right, dog.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, John has a big heart, dude. And,
Fucking huge.
you know what I mean? And
Actually, I just called him.
did you? Yeah. And he's just like, You're just very intuitive, and it's just like he's like, dude, you doing all right? I was like, you're about to find out, bro. He's like, oh shit. He's like, I'll block my neck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But what I don't know, man. Like, what do you think that? What are some of your plans? How is it different from being a black belt and then running a school? Does it take away a little bit of that zest, that
For
love?
me, it did.
Yeah.
For me, it did. And this is just my personal journey. So I don't know about other school owners if you guys are listening, or, but for me, when I worked for Professor Felipe, Professor Felipe and Flavio, man, they're like gods in Gracie Barra. You know what I mean? So it was easy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I was literally standing on their shoulders. I wouldn't mind. I'd be out
That's
there.
excellence.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you're spoiled.
Perfection almost. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're spoiled.
Yeah, so I'm out
Yeah.
there and I'm learning and I'm doing whatever they tell me to do, I'm doing. And, I learned a lot. But I wouldn't even care about anything. I'd just be out there rolling. And then, man, once you start to open your own school, everything changes. Just in the beginning, it was just me and Christina, man.
For sure.
There wasn't no PD. There wasn't no assistant instructor. There wasn't no anything. It was just me and Christina.
Yeah.
And we're trying to do everything, accounting, the whole 9 yards. You name it, we're trying to do it. And that was hard.
Right.
And that taxes you. That drains you.
Yeah, I mean, you almost need a whole team just for the admin side of the house.
I'm telling you, man, there's so much that happens behind that allows everyone to stand on these mats.
Oh, for sure.
That happens almost on a daily basis. That has to be met and that has to be done. And you forget about that when you're working for someone else.
Because they're taking care of it.
Yeah. Well, even then, it was even a lot of the things that I was taking care of. Suddenly, when it's yours, it's different when you're taking care. When I'm placing a uniform order, when I worked for Felipe, I just placed a uniform order and I hit pay. I placed a uniform order here and I'm like, damn, that's $2,000. You know what I mean? I'm like looking at it, I'm like, and I catch myself all the time. I'll go through the cart and I was like, do I really need 4 A3 geese? You know what I mean? I like look at the A3 geese. I'm like, I got 3 in there. I'll just get one. 4 is a good number. 4 sounds like, you know what I mean? Like, never did that when
Just
I
to
worked
keep
for
the lights
someone
on.
else. Yeah. When everything, it just changes. Cleaning the mats, the school, the accounting process, the business aspect, the community aspect, everything changes. But man, I wouldn't have it any other way.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Me and Christina, we're standing on something that we've built from scratch.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Like
From the
day one,
imagination,
man.
dude. From the
Yeah,
imagination.
Just a thought.
Yeah.
Just a thought. And then we opened it 6 months before COVID.
Yeah.
You know what
and
I
who
mean?
would have known COVID was around the corner?
No one.
Yeah.
September 14th, I opened my doors. March 15th, I closed them.
Yeah.
And I closed and I locked that door. And I remember walking out that door and I locked that door. And I was like, man, all right, I'll see you on Monday. And I told all the guys in the week before it, I was like, hey, we're going to stay open. We're going to push through. And then the call came down from the city, the state, the country. No, you're not.
Yeah, lock it up.
And I remember just staring at my front door like, fuck, I hope I get to open you again one day.
Yeah.
I hope I get to open you again one day. And I hope everyone starts to come back. And then we just started losing students. Cancellation.
Was it like you had students and then you didn't have students? Was
Yeah,
it like
basically.
overnight? Was it like overnight?
It was really quick.
It was really quick.
I can't.
I'm
It
sure it's
felt
like a blur,
it felt
yeah.
like it was within an hour. I mean, you know what I mean? Obviously it wasn't, but the fear on top of the reality of that it is happening, not just the fear of it happening, that it is happening, was insane.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we got up to like 128 students, and then we were down to nothing in a
Blink of an eye.
Blink of a fucking eye.
Yeah.
Everything was gone, and everything was at home. I tried teaching Zoom classes here, and I heard other people were getting in trouble for being in their business. And I had such huge fucking windows up there. I was like, damn, okay, what do we do? I kicked my daughter out of her room. Her and my brother slept in the same room. And we turned my daughter's room into a mini studio, about a 10 by 10. And I was teaching jiu-jitsu on Zoom.
That's cool, man. I wish I was here at that time.
If you if you ever want to see it, man, if you go to our Facebook and you look under videos, you can scroll back and see different videos that we used to post on there. It was crazy, and sometimes it'd be like one student.
Yeah,
Me and Christine out there teaching one student. What's crazier is that I would be sitting there, and I would teach 45 minutes to an hour, depending on which class it is.
right.
And then I would literally walk out of that room, walk back, just like do almost a U-turn, because our bedroom was right next to her bedroom. So I walk out of the bedroom / studio into our bedroom, and I just sit on the bed in my gi, and I look at the wall. I'm like, all right, 15 minutes. I'm gonna walk back in there, and I'm gonna teach another class. Hopefully, someone shows up.
Yeah.
And I remember Phil, Filipino mini-me.
Yeah. So good, dude.
He actually signed somebody up for the Zoom Jiu-Jitsu. We did our intro class with the Zoom. And, I mean, they didn't make it to actually come in person, but it was cool.
Yeah.
It was like this little bitty spark of hope.
That's it.
The first time he signed them up. And it was the only person we ever signed up, which, it is what it is. Other schools were getting way more, but it was still this little spark of hope, and you're like, shit, we might make this.
Yeah.
And, man, June 15th, they opened our doors again.
For sure. I think I came in with Licia at I think it was August.
Yeah, you guys came in August last year.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy, man.
But we opened our doors in June of 20.
Yeah.
Again.
And we came in 21.
22.
No, because JJ was in 22. JJ came in April of 22. Because
no, I thought you meant starting here.
Oh no, yeah, Licia came in 21. Because Elena was born, and she always reminds me. She goes, I would be at such and such belt if I didn't take my break when Licia was born, or when Elena was born. Yeah, man. Because she started August of 21, and then Elena was born in December 21, and then we took a break, and then when we came back in March or April, I think we came back in March of 22, and then JJ came in April of 22, and then I came in August of 22.
I'm gonna crack.
Yeah.
I thought it was May.
Maybe no. I don't think it was May. I don't think it was that far. He was definitely April, because it was right before his birthday. His birthday's in May, and he was so mad. He was so mad.
That's how you know I'm getting old, man.
Well, dude, it's been all to see as a student, to see the tribe, and it really is a tribe of
100%.
And the spectrum of people that are here, the lawyers and the construction
Lawyers.
workers. You know what I mean?
Lawyers.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. Also.
Lawyers and Marines and sheriffs and stay-at-home parents. You know what I mean?
Everybody.
This spectrum, dude. The spectrum of people, and it's growing, and but it's the same person that's here. It's the same at the root of it. It's the same person who's curious, who wants to be better, who just wants to be better, and who is going through some shit. Nobody here is has the picture perfect life. You know what I mean? Nobody here. Everybody here is going through something. They're working it out. They're ironing it out. And everybody here has wrinkles. You know what I mean? Everybody, not on their face, but I'm talking about
No, but that's the thing. You know, everybody's fighting that battle.
Yeah.
Some battle. And the thing, like jiu-jitsu is life, and we always talk about that. Man, pain is universal.
Yeah.
It's a universal language. That's why when someone says, like, if you've ever lost anyone and someone says, yeah, my mom died or my dad died, man, he's like, you know.
Oh, for sure.
You know, when you say, you know, my boy committed suicide, it's like, damn, man, I know.
Yeah.
Because everyone knows. Everyone knows the pain. It's not hidden, but pain has this stupid, uncanny ability to make you feel like you're the only one that knows what it is.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you're alone.
Yeah.
You're alone. No one knows what you're going through. Bullshit. Everyone knows. And I think that's why, you know, a lot of people don't reach out and help because they're like, who could ever understand me because I'm in so much pain? Mm-hmm. Man, anyone can. You just got to ask, you know, and they're like, you're not alone. There's so many people. I mean, like last night, you know, like I was talking from the fundamental class, and it was pretty intense last night. I was pretty tired. Damn, 3 days.
Right.
Trying to be like you guys. So I was tired.
It's like more like Matt Long.
Yeah. Fucking Matt. God, I wish I was his age.
Yeah.
But it's, you know, it's like anything, you know, it's just the lack of sleep and everything, you know, sometimes it breaks down the barriers within you.
For sure.
And you just kind of talk about things. And it was just like, at that moment, it was just like, man, you know, it's like, we don't talk about these things. We don't, we let our pride get the best of us. We feel like no one understands us. How can anyone understand the pain that I'm going through? How can anyone understand the suicidal thought that I have right now? Mm-hmm. No one understands me. Man, everyone does.
Yeah.
Because everyone's had it. I don't care how strong you are. I believe everybody honestly has thought, man, what would it be like if I just wasn't here?
Yeah.
It'd be shitty. That's what it would be. But you don't see that, you know. And it's universal. That's what I mean. And I think the more that we realize that pain is universal, it becomes this positive thing that kind of connects us. Mm. Like, yeah, man, you know, I mean,
that's the human factor, right?
Look at the Marines. Look at us.
Right.
Like, we know what it's like to do land nav in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Step into a hole and fall. You know what I mean? We know what it's like, you know what I mean, to get yelled at for being 5 minutes late. You know what I mean? And feeling like, shit, this is the end. You know what I mean? To get made fun of, you know what I mean? Like that whole painful scenario. I mean, we all know it, but it's yet at the same time it's what connects us if we allow it to, and it doesn't segregate us. You know what I mean?
Dude, 100%. And if I might, if I may add, like, you might not know what it's like to lose your legs. You know what I mean? Like, and that's okay. That's okay for you not to understand that, but for me not to give you a chance to understand. Yeah. You know, you may not ever really truly understand, and that's fine. That's not your life. But for me not to share something with you, who's a friend of mine, who you're generally curious and you're concerned, hey man, I saw that your legs were bloody. Are you good? You know what I mean? Like, you know, like you're not an idiot. You know that like blood's supposed to be inside your body. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. And just be like, yeah, man, dude, I'm fine, dude. You know, or like, hey man, can I get your leg for you? You know what I mean? Like, if I don't open up and like share that with somebody who genuinely wants to help, then like, what am I ultimately doing? Is I'm stifling your growth. You know what I mean? Like, I'm stifling your ability to be empathetic to like exercise that part of your heart where you're like, hey man, dude, this guy's going through some stuff, or he has a little bit of heavier cross to bear than I do. Let me just help him out because that makes me feel good. You know.
Yeah, and also it robs you of that experience of understanding, like what you say. Mm-hmm. I'm never going to understand what it's like to get blasted, thrown in the air, and have to literally fight to save my life, not blink, stay awake, like you were saying. No, but when you were telling me, the Marine in me understood. I understood.
For sure.
Because I've seen it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You lived through it.
Yeah. So, but the ones that haven't, if you don't, then they'll never understand.
Yeah.
They just see, and then they don't see what you've done with your life since, and what you did with your life before.
Right.
And they never get to understand that. And if they never get to understand that, all they see is this prosthetic leg, and they say, "Thank you for your service."
Yeah. It's almost like they just see the school.
Yeah,
You know,
they do. They just see the school. They don't see.
They see the results
in my couch crying, like, how am I going to make this work? How am I going to make this work?
Right.
I got to feed these kids. I got to feed my wife.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And
like,
I got to provide a place for people to roll.
dude, it was crazy, man. Like, in the middle of it, our truck broke. My boy was letting me borrow his 1997 Mitsubishi Eclipse, but the ceiling was falling down, and it had horrific brakes, and we're trying to drive my kids to school. My wife's scared, and I'm just like, what the fuck? Life's supposed to be better now, right? Because I made a decision to be this better person. That means everything's perfect now. No, it doesn't. I made the decision to start training jiu-jitsu. That means I have a black belt mentality. No, son, you're a long ways away.
Yeah.
But you're on the journey. That's the most important part, and that's why the white belt's the hardest belt, right? It doesn't mean that it's just easy. Just like, people that are, oh, man, I'm going to church now. That means my life's going to be better, right? Like our pastor, Chris Brown, CB, says, God's not some Cosmo vending machine that you only talk to when you need something. Hey, God, something's wrong. Fix it, fix it, fix it, fix it, fix it. No, that's not how it works. Just like that's not how life works. Oh, you know what? I need to win the lottery because if I win the lottery, everything will be fine. No, everything needs to be fine before you win the lottery.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You need to start that journey because if not, you're just going to end up back where you were. That's why, I used to tell my students, what is it? Something like 90% of the people that win the lottery end up broke again.
Right.
Because they were never ready. They were never on the journey to be better or to better themselves. They were looking for that instant gratification.
Yeah.
That's why Professor Jim said it best up at Gracie Barra San Clemente. He's like, there's a big confusion between happiness and joy. People think they're the same thing, and they're not. Happiness are moments in time. That's what happy is. Happy is a moment in time. Joy is a constant state of mind that nobody can take away from you. Happiness are moments in time. That means I'm happy. I use it with the kids. If someone gives you your favorite toy, you're happy, aren't you? Mm-hmm. That's not joy.
Yeah.
But you're happy.
Yeah.
How long does that last? Does that last forever? No.
That lasts until I take my last drink of coffee.
Yeah. You know what I mean? But joy. Now I can enjoy jiu-jitsu for the rest of my life, and no one can take that away.
Right.
Because of what I put into it. Because of the work that I put through, because of the nights that I cried, or, the fear that I had to overcome. And that's the difference, you know what I mean? You can enjoy something because you worked for it, and no one can take it away from you. Happiness is just instantaneous. It's right there, and that's what they're looking for now these days. And I don't think people are willing to work for joy. They want happiness. You know what I mean? It's like this idea of understanding that if I get something, if I'm just given something, there's no value in it, right? There's nothing really.
There's no equity in it.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like a black belt, there's miles put on that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. You can't buy that.
No.
Yeah.
You can't.
No. It's, yeah.
And I think that's important that people recognize that, because I think they get confused with, like, our brain span. TikToks, they're a minute long. Everything, reels, shorts, everything's going to real short attention span. How much information can I give you in a minute?
Right.
You know what I mean? To feed that, new subject, swipe. Next thing you know, you're like, oh, good, a whole bunch of instant gratification. I'm seeing all these things. Now, my life, how come I'm not getting everything right away? Yeah. Like everyone that I see is getting, which they're not getting. They're just they're betraying it. They're not giving it to you, or they're not getting it right away.
Right.
You know what I mean? They're betraying that, And I think we get caught up in that, and I think that's also a reason why a lot of people end up quitting jiu-jitsu. But I think That's also the number one reason why people quit in life. They're not getting what they want right away. They're not willing to take those ups and downs. And they think those ups and downs are like a year. No, it's a journey.
Yeah.
So it's not going to end.
It's not
You know
going
what
to
I
end.
mean? There's two really good quotes that hell, you know me, I'm a quote master. One, the richest place in the world is the cemetery. Because there lies all the ideas and inventions that were never made because people were too scared to continue chasing their dreams.
That's insane.
Second, imagine this. It's the end of your life. You're in the room. But in that room is every regret and decision that you wish you would have done. How packed is that room?
Hopefully it's real thin.
Yeah, that's the idea.
Yeah.
That's the
Hopefully
idea.
it's not like standing room only.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But can you imagine that? That's
For
the
sure,
idea,
man.
you know
For
what I mean?
sure.
So I would sit there and I'd be like, okay, look, I'm going to die. What's my regrets? What do I wish I would have done? What could I have done? You know what I mean? What did I want to do?
Yeah.
You know, not what did I have to do? What did I want to do? You got one life, man. You know what I mean? If you go to heaven, people got different views of heaven, like we're going to be floating on a cloud. Again, my pastor, Chris Brown, he was like, your beginning of heaven starts like now.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you're not going to just die and go play a harp on a cloud. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like your heaven is what you're creating right now.
Yeah.
Your heaven or your hell.
Right.
So you got to start that journey now.
Mm-hmm.
You got to start that correction. And that's why I think, again, here we go, back to the mass jiu-jitsu. It's so important for us to continue and keep pushing. It's not easy, but man, it's so worth it.
Yeah. I mean, dude, like, I do think that look, man, like, you have to understand that this is, what do I want to say, man? We don't, like, I believe that there's the orchestrator of the universe, and I do believe that we go somewhere, and I do believe that it's not necessarily like heaven and hell. It's not, I don't think it's binary, but I do believe that we're here put on this earth to orchestrate and to construct our heaven. And it's through our beliefs.
Oh, 100%.
You know what I mean?
100%.
Like, and
whatever
so,
you, and
whatever you believe.
I was
like,
just using that as an analogy.
No, like, oh, that's fine. But what, like, just to, like, because it does matter, man. It does matter what you believe. It does matter what you tell yourself. It does matter how you interact with the voice in between your ears, and goes back to that, man. Like,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because you could get lost in that and be in a hell.
You know, after everything that I was saying, it comes back to this real simple point, man, is that when I die, I don't want to die not knowing who I am and portraying a mask that's not really who I am.
Right.
I'd much rather die living a life that I'm happy and I have found joy.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm doing things that bring me joy.
Regardless of how difficult it is.
Yeah. I mean, people think I'm crazy on my motorcycle.
For sure.
You know, they think I'm crazy that I'm 43 years old doing jiu-jitsu. And then some people are like, oh, yeah, jiu-jitsu's great. I'm glad you're doing it. But, you know, the motorcycle thing's crazy. Other people are like, man, you know what I mean? Both of them are crazy. You should have just taken the fire inspector job and been making, X amount of money. But it's not about what they think. It's about what I think. And you know what? I love teaching. Mm-hmm. I love seeing these kids and these adults make connections in their lives. I love watching people grow and bloom and become a better husband and father like you. I love watching all of it transfold. I find joy in it. Mm-hmm. I find joy in getting on my motorcycle, hitting that ignition button, getting a throttle therapy, popping that clutch and just disappearing. It's just things that I find joy in. And at the end of the day, when I die, if I go to heaven, I go to hell, I go to a white space, I go to whatever is going to happen to me afterwards is going to happen. But what I need to do is just like what you say, I want to start that construction now. Mm-hmm. I want to start enjoying those moments now. You know what I mean? And preparing. I don't know how long I'm going to live. I mean, if I'm blessed, I'm halfway through my life, so I make it to 80. You know what I mean? That's badass. If I can make it to 80, you know what I mean? I'm like, hell yeah. I may make it to 43.
Right.
But I'd rather, whether it's a month or it's 40 more years, I'd rather enjoy every moment that I can when I can.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Sometimes we also get caught up living for other people so much that we forget to live for ourselves.
That's true.
And you've got one life, man. And I think it also kind of, in my opinion, echoes into our kids. If I'm constantly just not happy, not living the life that I want, I'm setting that example for them to do the same thing. You know, I mean,
that work's supposed to be work.
Yeah. It's not, you know, I used to tell my Marines, you don't live to work, you work to live. But if you love what you're doing, then the only thing you get to do is live. Mm-hmm. And that's so important. We don't live to work. We work to live. But if you find truly something that you're in love with and you're doing that as work, then damn, man, the only thing you're doing is living.
Yeah, you're just a playtime.
And it doesn't mean that you have to be an entrepreneur. It doesn't mean that you have to be a firefighter. You know, a friend of mine, she's an accountant. She's our accountant. And this is what she loves to do. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Numbers is her thing. It would give me a migraine. Every time she calls me, she's like, Doug, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, oh, my head. Oh, my God, I need an Advil. You know what I mean? I don't know what you said, but you know what? I trust you.
Yeah.
All right, Doug, this is what we need to do. Okay, you're going to just start it off with that. You know what I mean? I mean, I love the idea of you trying to teach me. But you know what I mean? Everyone has their own construct of what they love to do. And if you love doing that, then freaking go do it.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean when I say you only have one life to spend doing something that you don't love doing. And it doesn't mean that it has to be some movie star, Dwayne Johnson. Yeah. This is what that's what I need to do because that's what I love to do. No, it's not. You love the idea of being rich. Okay? Let's be honest. Yeah, let's be honest. But what do you love to do? Do you love, I mean, there's plenty of people I know that have these small shops and small little things working on cars and they're fucking happy.
Yeah.
They're enjoying what they're doing. Then it means they're living. It means when you go to work, you're not like,
yeah.
Right? And even on the days that you do get up, because there's days that I get up that I'm like, oh my God, I wish I could just get a day off. More than 2 days off, you know?
Right.
But then I get in here.
Back to back, yeah.
And all of a sudden it's just like, oh, I remember why I do this.
Yeah. Or somebody walks in. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I love what I do. And I enjoy it. That means I'm not just working to live. I'm living to work. Or not living to work, I'm working to live. But then I'm loving what I do, so then I'm just living.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's important that we do that. I mean, heaven or hell, it is what it is. Right here, right now, I know for sure, without a doubt, you have control.
That's a fact. You do control your circumstances.
100%.
Yeah.
And you control your perspective, like you were saying. You know, you made that choice to be optimistic. And it doesn't mean that you're going to be optimistic every day.
Well, it doesn't even mean that I'm not going to acknowledge the emptiness of life, or I'm not going to acknowledge that, you know, dude, I'm in a shitty situation. I'm not going to acknowledge that life isn't fair. You know what I mean? But like, I'm going to sit around and I'm going to be like, you know what, dude, I could be upset and I have every reason to be upset, but I'm going to choose to be happy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's so important.
Like, you know, because dude, like there was one time I was at La Jolla Shores and Ashley was pushing JJ on the swing and it was perfect, dude. You know, the sun was setting. It was, you know, I'm like, dude, you know, I'm like 6 months post injury. No, maybe a little longer. Maybe I'm like 18 months post injury. And I'm just like, dude, this is it. You know, like, if God struck me down right now, I'd die a happy man. You know, this is what it means to be rich right here. Watching your kid be pushed on the swing and all these little crumb crushers running around everywhere. It's just awesome, right?
You say crumb crushers. That's the first time I've ever heard it called crumb crushers.
And this guy comes up and he's like, yo, man, like, did you get those in the war? And like, it just completely like skipped, like, You know what I mean? This was like right after the time that, I said, you know, I want to be happy. I want to do all this stuff, right? God give me, you know, I want to be happy, right? So I make this proclamation and declaration of what I want in my life, and I want to live with intention. And this guy, and I was practicing that, and this guy comes up and he rips that.
He tests it.
Yeah, he tests
it right away.
Right away.
Like,
I mean,
do you really want to be happy?
Yeah. And I wanted to punch him, and because he hit me, right? He hit me on the backhanded my shoulder like really hard, and I was like, for one, bro, like you're way out of line. Two, you're saying some out of the pocket shit, and you deserve to get smacked up. And I knew that if I did this, I would be right. If like there's no judge at the time in like 2011 that would be like, no way. Mm-mm. And long story short, I was like, I saw it for what it was, and I was like, it's, you know. And I talked him down, and it was all good, man. But you know, that's what like when you make that declaration and you make that stance and you do those things, like, and you ask the universe or God or whatever adjective you want to use, that this is why I'm living my life, and then it tests you.
100%.
You know what I mean?
You want to train jiu-jitsu?
Yeah. Really?
Okay.
Let me choke you out.
Yeah. And that doesn't go against anyone that's thinking about training jiu-jitsu. But you know what I mean? It's important that, again, that understanding of like people get this thing and they're like, okay, you know what? I've made the decision to get rid of this road rage. I'm not going to be angry at other people anymore. Fuck you. What are you doing, man? Did you just cut me off? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, did you really?
Yeah.
You know, and it's funny. It's kind of like, you know, it's that understanding. Like I was just telling telling the kids the other day, I was like, just because you make the decision, you know, you want to get better at arm bars, guess what? It's going to be really hard to get them now.
Yeah.
You're going to want to leave and do a different submission because it's becoming difficult, because now you have to set it up. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm not going to go north-south on you. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? It's like, I'm going to let you go north-south on me. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
You know, and it gets difficult when you decide to be intentional. And I think that's where, again, a lot of people get that wrong perspective. They think, all right, I'm going to make a decision. I'm going to work on my depression. I'm going to work on my anxiety. I'm going to work on being a better person. I'm going to eat healthy. I'm going to drink right. You know what I mean? I'm going to start going to the gym. I'm going to start doing all these right things. Okay, that means I'm never going to wake up and not feeling like going to the gym. Well, we all know that's a lie. I'm just going to drink water and not drink anything else. That's not sustainable. You know, eventually you're going to drink something else besides water. You know what I mean? It's like, it's going to be difficult. Now it begins. Mm-hmm. I want to get to know who I really am. I want to take these masks off. Guess what? Oh, here it comes.
Yeah.
You peel that first mask back, you're like, and now you're scared.
Yeah.
And then what do? Do I face it or do I turn my back? I turn my back, I'm getting choked out. Mm-hmm. I got to face it. And then now here's the hard part. Do you want to face it? Mm. Do you really want to face it? Do you really want to become a better person? Because if you do, you got to put in the work. You know, and I think people forget that. They forget that we have to work for what we want to enjoy. Mm. And that happiness are just moments.
Yeah. Maybe that's what it is that like the work is the joy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Gary Vee says it best. He was like, if you fall in love with the process, you'll never mind doing it again. Just like that one quote I told you the other day. Here we go, another quote, right?
Here we go.
Professor Doug. The man that loves to walk will walk further than the man that loves the destination.
That's a fact.
If you're just obsessed with, I want to get my blue belt, I need my blue belt. And it's good to have goals, but if you become obsessed with it, you don't fall in love with the process of learning. The only thing you're saying is, okay, I gotta get my dot. If I get my dot, then I'll get my belt.
Yeah.
No, man, that's not.
Did I turn in my card? Did I make sure?
Yeah.
You know?
Looking at your dots. Oh, hey, you forgot a day here. I was here on the 20th. You know what I mean? Did you come in late?
Yeah.
You know, and It's important that we fall in love with the process, good or bad,
Right.
and we remember why we're doing the process.
Yeah.
There's so many small little pieces of the puzzle, brother. There's so many mini little things, and we've got to remember they don't all just happen at once. They happen throughout the journey, that you pick up another little piece and a little piece and a little piece and another little piece, and next thing you know, you're like, oh,
You have a heaven.
that's the picture.
Yeah. You constructed your heaven. You constructed.
There you go. There it is. There it is. Now I get it. So all those days that I cried, all those days I didn't know what to do. You know what? I got this brother here right now. He's crying. He's asking me what to do.
Yeah.
I got my son crying. He's asking me what to do. You know what, son? Don't look at the peak.
Yeah.
We got another valley we're going through right now.
Yeah.
Can you see the foot in front or the next step?
That's all
Then
you gotta
take
look
it.
at. You gotta take it.
That's it.
Yeah,
But you got to
man.
be on the right path.
Have to. You must. It's yeah.
You keep taking the steps, but if you're on the wrong path,
Yeah, you're just getting further away from the real path. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Is there anything that you wanted to share today that you didn't get a chance to share? Like a truth that you know, or that a piece of advice, or just, I don't know.
Depression is a motherfucker. And no matter how strong you think you are, it will break you and will cause you to drop to your knees. I hate to spoil the ending, but everything's going to be okay.
That way to pick me up and put me back down. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's important. I think if there's one thing that I could share, don't be afraid to love. Don't be afraid to be who you are, no matter what anyone else thinks. Don't be afraid to start the journey. But man, one thing that I have the most trouble is, don't be afraid to love yourself.
Oh, wow. Don't forget to love yourself.
Yeah. I think, I say it all the time too, here, Professor Doug Squook. You got to be the main character in your own story, man.
That's the truth.
You got to be the main character. Don't forget to be the main character. Don't put someone else in your life that's the main character, because it's your life. Because they should be the main character in their life. Because, like I say, man, if you're really about making yourself better, and you're really the main character in your own life, everything around you will flourish. It's contagious. It feeds. Everything, your immediate family, your wife, your kids, they all thrive off of it.
And
if
that's
you're in a good space.
And that's the opposite too. Like, if you're not doing that,
yeah,
and you're miserable,
you're feeding their future.
yeah, and that's like that residue is gonna fall onto them.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like,
100%, man.
because all it is residue, right? So it's like, if I'm really positive, I'm really loving myself, and I'm on the path, I'm doing all these things right, it's infectious.
100%.
Either way you look at it, like, you're infectious. Either you're gonna be a parasite, or you're gonna be, you know what I mean? You're
gonna be the light.
You're gonna be the light.
That's probably the number one thing besides start training jiu-jitsu.
At Gracie Barra
Oceanside. But no, seriously, man. Like, honestly, be the main character in your own life.
Right.
Live it. Set the example that you want your children and your friends and everyone around you to do. Live the best life that you can. And find joy in it, not happiness. Find joy, something that's just there all the time. I get to enjoy these mats every day.
Right.
Every day. I get to walk out on these mats, get swept and beat up by all these kids, and I call them kids.
Yeah.
I can beat their dad.
Except for Billy the Kid.
Yeah, no, he's like my grandson.
Yeah, dude.
But yeah, man, be the main character in your life. There's so many sayings, so many things, but all they are is reminders. Everything, all the quotes I just told you, every quote I tell at the end of my class message, they're all reminders to be the main character in your life.
I love it, man. If I would like to just acknowledge you for a second, man, as we close this up. And man, dude, just thank you for everything, man. Thank you and the tribe for everything, for taking the time out and showing me your world and really giving me a hand up versus a hand out.
Yeah.
Make me work for it, make me sweat for it. You know, when I first came out, when I first came out here, it's even harder for me to even say this out loud, and I'm stumbling over my own tongue. But you know, I wanted to get beat up so bad because I wanted my physical body to match what I was telling myself in my ears, and that ass whooping never came by because you guys love me, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you're not gonna beat me up because you have a general love just for a human being and for the sport and for whatever this thing is, jiu-jitsu. I mean, like, it's so vast. It's like it compares to life. It's as vast as life. You know what I mean? Like you can get deep down into the weeds of it, and you know, like, and you really just showed me that, like, not only to like love myself and allow myself to do this, to play and to have fun and to do all these things. That's what I really want to do every day anyways. You know what I mean?
That's what we all want to do.
Yeah, you know, so it's like it rings true with me, man. And everybody who's helped me out here on the mats, everyone who's given me a good throat hug,
Throat hugs,
you
yeah,
know,
man.
I sincerely appreciate you. I genuinely love Gracie Barra Oceanside.
Yeah, we love you too, man. And it's an honor to have you on the mats. And I would say more, but it would spoil your mood.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I mean?
For sure, man.
I
mean, dude, like, I just love, I mean, honestly, man, just good, genuine people. And I think that everybody should do jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu is for everyone, but not everyone's for jiu-jitsu. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, it is what it is. But if you have the inkling to do it, you should do it. You know what
give
I mean?
it a shot.
Give it a
know what
shot.
I mean, find your local
Worst thing that
gym.
could happen is that you just, you know,
Yeah.
you cancel your membership.
Shh, no one cancels their membership.
But yeah, man, dude, thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, man.
Thank you so much for your
Love
energy
you,
and
man.
everything.
Appreciate everything.
Love you too, Doc. Peace.
Peace.
And that's it. That's a wrap. And I think that Professor Doug dropped some nuggets of wisdom, and I think there's something that we can all take away from this. I'm gonna name this title "Don't Be Afraid to Love." You know, I think that's what I'm taking away from this. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else to be said. If you want to support the podcast, go to the Patreon link in the show notes. If you want to connect with me, go ahead and hit the hotline 760-566-6904. If you want to get a hold of me, hit me up on Instagram at coffee_with Julian. Remember that the music to these podcasts is produced by Will. Otherwise, I look forward to speaking to you guys real soon. Stay strong, stay tough, and stay motivated. Thank you so much for listening to the Coffee with Julian podcast. Peace.
Thank you for listening to my papa. Bye!